we asked 4 social media powerhouses to give you their best advice for building your brand off Amazon. These are their top 13 tips that every Amazon business should focus on right now.
It has nothing to do with how many followers an influencer has. If you are selling kids clothing, look for someone who has a big family and always showcases their outfits. If you are a company whose name is not known, it is harder for you to convert with a one-off post for an influencer. If I was going to go do a post for Abercrombie, that is going to immediately convert because that brand has built its presence and it has customers that trust their products. If you have a brand that no one knows yet, you need to post a lot more with the same influencer. So it's better to work with a micro influencer who you can afford to do a longer contract with, and you're teaching their audience about your brand.
What I have discovered converts really well is posting about new product launches. So getting people super excited beforehand, teasing that product on social media, getting people hyped, having them join in on the comments. And then when it is on Prime, people are kind of expecting the link to it. So then we will then repost those reels, share on our stories, and have the link that goes directly to Amazon. And then another thing that converts really well is posting about deals. Obviously, everybody wants a discount. So every so often we throw up a 15% off or a 30% off coupon onto the story, and that gets a lot more clicks than if we just link to the product priced as is. And one thing that Silvana actually posts for us a lot about is our subscribe and save, because we do have that 30% off for subscribe and save. And I've noticed that one drives a lot of traffic.
If you don't already on your listing have a brand video, do that today. It doesn't have to be something that you paid $10,000 for. It can be something you shoot on your iPhone. But it's super important, specifically from getting more influencer content onto your product listing, because when you as the brand upload that brand video, it basically unlocks the upper carousel on your product listing. And in that upper carousel is where brand and influencer videos can live at the top of the product listing. And so that's huge for you because it's getting more content on your product listing that is not necessarily more work that you have to do, right? It's like hiring an on-site social media manager by opening these spots for influencers on your product listing.
The first thing I tell my clients is you need to have 2 things clear. The first one is your brand guideline. Those are your colors, typography, basically the image of your brand, because that's what people are going to be seeking across all the platforms. And also solidifying your key message. Which campaign should have one key message that we're trying to get across, and there should be a call of action that you're requesting from your viewership. That can remain the same across all the platforms. It can just change the way that you showcase it. On TikTok, you might want to go in a more organic way where it kind of looks like you're on FaceTime with a friend talking about a product. While on Instagram, you might want to be more educational or experimental on how you're showcasing it, but that message and the call of action will remain the same. I like to use websites such as like Collabstr, and there's other websites like that show you active UGC creators, so people that are creating content for brands. And I like to create a small media list that I can reach out directly through email. I find this kind of makes it more legitimate. They trust the brand a little bit more when it comes from an email, and you can have a bit of a PDF with your brand history. And that has given us a really good response rate in terms of responding and also posting the product on their accounts.
My first piece of advice is 1, follow the traffic. Seeing where your audience drops off gives you insight as to why they're dropping off. If I have a ton of link clicks from an ad that I'm doing on my social media, to a brand website, but they're not following through with the purchase, it's not something that's wrong with the ad. It's something that's wrong with either the website or the product. Maybe the price point is too high for my audience. Maybe there were too many steps being taken before a customer checks out. You need to make it as efficient as possible to follow through with a purchase. So looking at where those link clicks drop off is huge.
If you're a business owner, you have so many things that you are worried about, and social media is kind of the last thing on your mind, especially if you typically aren't experienced with social media. Having a social media manager who's consistently posting and has a content calendar, is planning out weeks in advance, is super important for your brand.
It's a full-time job. If you're taking it seriously, if you want to get from it what you're going to get what you give. And at the end of the day, engaging with your customers, building a following, following other accounts, creating good content, people need to take it seriously because it is very important. And so hire a content creator, 100%. As a business owner, I have found that it's better to focus on one product. I have a clothing company. So at first I was like, oh, let's consistently send different products to an influencer. But then I realized my hero product, if I just send that one product to them and have them post over and over again, month after month, people will be more likely to try that hero product because this influencer is now putting their name on this, they're swearing by this product. So if you are selling some like in a category as opposed to one particular product, choose one of your products and have that influencer post it so that now her audience is not just familiar with your brand, they're familiar with a product and this person is standing behind it.
There's actually a couple places of crossover where the content creators and Amazon influencers can post that also you as brands can be taking advantage of. If you're not doing posts yet that Amazon lets you do, I would start doing that. Basically, you can do either shorts or you can do like basically what I would consider like an Instagram picture post and put it on Amazon. It shows up on your storefront, but then that content is also available for Amazon Inspire, which is their shoppable feed right now. They're trying to compete with like TikTok or Instagram scrollable shopping. And so as a brand, that's available to you. You don't get to pick which ones appear on Inspire, but it's available for Amazon to put there. And it's something that you don't have to pay for yet, right? So at some point, maybe Amazon will move that over and you'll have to basically pay for a sponsored post on there. But at the moment, they're pulling content from brand posts for free into Inspire, and shoppers are seeing that as they scroll.
If you do have it in your budget to work with a couple of different influencers, whether it be 2, 3, 4, look for people who have overlapping audiences. That helps a lot because now you're flooding the market a little bit. If you choose an influencer and you can see that she's friends with maybe 2, 3 other influencers that have the same follower style, and you can get all 3 of those people, packages of your product in the matter of a month, and all 3 of these influencers are posting at the same time. Now you're telling a customer, okay, we have 3 influencers that you follow that you already trust, who trust us as a brand.
So one thing that my husband and I did for Couples Coffee was just reaching out to influencers, specifically couples who had been on reality shows. So Love is Blind, Married at First Sight. And we just reached out to them on Instagram, told them about our story, the story behind Couples Coffee, let them know our mission and that we were veteran owned and we were a small business. And we were like, can we just send you some coffee for free? So we sent them about $100 worth of coffee with a handwritten note, not asking them to post anything, but just kind of talking about it as if it were a gift. And we had 90% of those that we reached out to and sent coffee to, they posted naturally just because they really appreciated the gift. They loved the mission. So we got a bunch of kind of free advertising from some pretty famous couples just by reaching out and telling them about us. So not that I'm saying specifically go out and ask for a lot of free posts from influencers. But I think that there is something to be said about just reaching out and letting them know your mission and then sending free products to them.
If your shop is not linked as an Instagram shop, you should, because it takes 2 clicks to check out on Amazon. If a shop has its Instagram shop linked, the only thing that I have to hit is add to cart and buy now. That is 2 buttons. So your conversion rate is going to go up astronomically because no one has to fill in their credit card information, their shipping address, anything. Instagram stores all of that information for you right there.
I would say the easiest thing to do would be schedule 5 to 6 hours in your calendar every week that you are putting aside for content creation. Create a list of things that you want to communicate. What is a new product that's coming out, or is there a service you're providing that it needs to be mentioned? And ensure that you're creating content around that. Give yourself time. Be kind with yourself. You're not going to be a graphic designer from day one, but you will get better. So just try it out, and I would say that's the best approach.
Now, this was just a very small piece taken from the full webinar, but you can watch it all, plus get 10 more hours of exclusive content by visiting the link below. This year, Jungle Scout hosted our first ever Amazon Seller Week, where we teamed up with industry-leading experts to help sellers like you elevate and evolve your business. We covered 10 different learning sessions on topics like advanced advertising strategies, growth funding options, supply chain tips, and much more. And you can access all of it for free with the link below.